David always fell asleep without warning. He fell asleep in elevators. He fell asleep on crane towers. He fell asleep while sitting. He fell asleep waiting for the subway. When he woke up, he was in a hospital. Doctors did a brain CT scan. The results were bad. A tumor grew in his brain. He asked if it was serious. The doctor said there was no hope for a cure. Everyone thought he would cry sadly, but he fell asleep in his chair. He woke up again. He was in a hospice care room. His roommate Andy had a terminal lung disease. Andy decided to jump off a building. On the rooftop he met David. They chatted sadly, but halfway through, David fell asleep suddenly. He almost fell off. When David woke up, he saw many packages in the hospital. He asked why there were so many. A nurse said patients bought them with credit cards. David decided to take loans and enjoy his last days. His credit was poor, so he asked Andy for help. They went to a supermarket. They bought expensive things wildly. They bought gold rings too. They sold them to second-hand dealers. They got a lot of money. They rented a sports car and drove fast. They felt very happy, but David fell asleep again. This scared Andy badly. Luckily they braked in time. After wild spending, they decided to die in Africa. They rented a car to drive to the southernmost point, but Andy was very timid. David drove to a construction site. He took Andy up a crane to practice courage, but David fell asleep suddenly. His foot got stuck on the crane, so he didn't fall. Andy was too weak to pull him up. He tied himself with a belt to stay safe. They stayed on the crane all night. Workers rescued them next morning. They reached the grassland. Andy got out to poop. He also wanted to see the African savanna. He admired the beautiful view. Then he saw a lion. The lion looked at him. Andy looked back. Andy stood up slowly. The lion stood up too. Andy squatted down quickly. The lion walked toward him slowly. Andy closed his eyes. But the lion sniffed him. It urinated on his face. It threw dirt on his face too. Then it left. Andy cheered happily in the car. They drove further south. They soon reached the southernmost point. They decided to die there, but neither dared to shoot themselves or each other. Then Andy got news. The hospital said his disease was curable now. Andy wanted to return immediately, but David thought it was a scam. Andy owed much money. They wanted him back to pay. Andy thought David was just jealous. They went separate ways. When Andy returned, doctors told him it was indeed a trick, but they only wanted David to return. David never had cancer. Andy felt terrified. David might have killed himself already. David also discovered the brain CT wasn't his. Andy's life was about to end. David took him to a rooftop. They saw their last sunrise together. Then they both fell down. One fell asleep. The other fell asleep forever.